Hey everybody, meteorologist Lauren Rautenkranz here, hanging out in the Weather Center. We have about 45 minutes till First Coast News at 11, but for those of you who wanted an update right now, I am here to give that to you to talk about Hurricane Irma, because obviously this is a storm that a lot of people are talking about, and I think it is good to kind of get the message out there that we are very uncertain what's going to happen with this storm, but Monday is going to be a huge day for the Hurricane Irma track and intensity forecast. A lot of Hurricane Hunter recon flights scheduled to go out, so that is going to be a major help to figure out what's going on with this forecast. So hi everyone that is joining in right now. Diamond, hang in there. I've got the forecast for you. We're going to talk it out. Don't want anyone to panic at this point. Just make sure you keep yourself informed on this, but if you are prepared, let's say, for hurricane season in general, Monday, enjoy your family and friend. Labor Day, get out there and have some sun in the sun. But by Tuesday, you're going to want to definitely tune back into the forecast. So for now, let me go ahead and dive into what we know. I've got a couple of graphics that can help you out here. And past the cone of uncertainty is when obviously Florida and the southeast states could be impacted. So I've done my best to kind of create a percentage forecast on what we would likely see with this storm. Now I'm going to flat out tell you my gut just tells me that this is going to stay off of the east coast of Florida. But then again, my gut could be wrong and the forecast could change. We've still got about 5 to 7 days until we're really going to know more. And that is just me telling you how it is, because you all know as well as I do that the tropics are very tricky to forecast. So hi everyone that's joining in. My mom is even joining in from South Florida, where she tells me all of the water bottles and the water jugs and things like that are gone from the shelves at Publix and other convenience stores. So it's good that people are getting prepared, but do I think you have to stock your entire garage with water and not leave it for everyone else? No. Still have a couple of days to watch this, which is some good news. So hi, Tracy, Stephanie, Angie is worried and praying. Hey, I'm here to kind of help calm those nerves so you can get a good night's rest and enjoy your Labor Day. And Kristen, no, we do not need another hurricane. Kevin, there is another hurricane. Yes, let's go ahead and talk about it right now. Is St. Augustine in the cone of concern? Gary wants to know. No one in Florida right now is in the cone of concern. I don't actually think that's going to happen from the National Hurricane Center until Monday. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. We're going to get a new forecast that may even pop up within the next 20 to 25 minutes or so. Of course, I'm going to have the very latest on First Coast News at 11, so join us on TV. Okay, everyone, you are commenting like crazy. So instead of going through all of these comments right now, I'm going to jump on this later. Here's what we've got. This is Hurricane Irma, and at this point it is a major hurricane. When you get to a Category 3 hurricane or higher, that is considered a major hurricane. It is expected to intensify as we head towards the next several days. So where this is moving, warmer waters, right now it's sitting in the mid-80s. It formed in even cooler waters, which was incredible to see happen. Atmosphere just very ripe for a storm to wrap up like this. It is still somewhat compact. It's expected to expand in size as well as it increases in intensity. So warmer waters, a very moist atmosphere, relatively low to moderate wind shear, which is good for that storm. Not good for our forecast, of course. So a Category 4 storm as it's approaching the Bahamas. Now that's by Friday. And look at this difference here in the cone. Obviously it gets much wider by that time. So at this point, the model's showing that it is generally going to move towards the west, possibly the southwest from time to time. And then after Tuesday, that's when we're really going to have to watch the Leeward Islands, the Lesser Antilles. They are actually under hurricane watches at this point. Those will be upgraded to warnings once we get closer. Of course, all of these beautiful Caribbean islands that we all want to take a vacation to, well, they're going to be impacted as well. So we'll have to watch a very close brush with Puerto Rico. I've camped over on the island of Culebra before. Again, we've got St. John, St. Thomas, and all of those other awesome Virgin Islands out there. We'll have to watch everything, of course, but this storm expected to stay, if it stays in the center of this path. Now, again, there's a lot of room for wiggle here, but we would likely see this stay on the north side of the islands here. Now, if that happens, that's good news for us because that's a better chance that this can recurve out to sea. If this takes more of a southerly track, that's where we're going to have a bit more of a concern for any landfall, possibly in Florida, if the front that digs down next week is not strong enough. So hopefully I'm not losing anyone with all of this meteorology here, but I'm just trying to tell you what my thoughts are. So again, Irma right now, Category 3, wind sustained at 115 miles per hour. That pressure, my gosh, hurricane hunters today actually are the reason that they were able to drop that intensity, because we were just getting a lot of data from looking at the satellite and radar. We didn't actually have anyone go into the storm and investigate it today until, again, today. So everyone is just saying, let's see, I'm just kind of reading your comments. How fast is it moving? 14 miles per hour right now. It looks like it'll continue to kind of move at that rate, possibly even speed up as it heads a little closer to the Bahamas late this upcoming week. So again, towards Monday, I would not be surprised if this cone extends a little farther out here. Now the models do show it coming uncomfortably close. They have flip-flopped a lot. Right now they're doing what's called the windshield wiper effect, okay? Windshield wiper effect is something that is horrible for us because it shows one time a very different scenario than, you know, the next model run, and that's what we've seen a lot lately. So with the windshield wiper effect, hopefully that gets kind of put under the, calm down a little bit more tomorrow, because we're going to have what's called a hurricane hunter go out, and they're doing the upper atmosphere. They're going to be 45,000 feet up in the air to check these steering currents and just get a little bit of a better idea. So I actually just shared this on my Facebook page. If you guys are curious, you can go on and click on this, and this is what I'm talking about here. This is the jet that is going to go out tomorrow to look at the upper atmosphere to see what is causing this hurricane to move the way it's moving. So that will be very helpful, and that will hopefully help with that windshield wiper effect, with those models sometime going out to sea and then sometime showing, you know, very doom and gloom scenario that we don't want. If I were to put a guess on it right now, and this is honestly my best forecast, Tim Deegan had something very similar last night if you tuned into First Coast News with us, and this is obviously 5+ days out, so it's highly variable at this point. About a 20% chance of at least the spaghetti models today showing that we could see, you know, more of a southerly track close to Florida, South Florida. The other scenario kind of shows it up off the coast of East Florida and then impacting the Carolinas, possibly even up farther than the Carolinas. So at this point, I'm telling everyone from Miami all the way up into the state of Maine to really watch this storm. I have 20% still of any recurvature out to sea, and that is obviously what we want. Again, Hurricane Hunter data today was so fantastic because it helped us figure out that, gosh, this storm really is very intense. So we saw wind speeds from the Hurricane Hunters today, 113 miles per hour, surface pressure, 959 millibars. When that millibar drops, that's likely going to eventually result in an increase in wind speed as well. Now, this is something I just want to show everyone because just like Mary, lovely, just wrote on our comments. Thank you. This was what the spaghetti models looked like 7 days out from Hurricane Harvey. Now, we all know, right, that this made more of a northerly track and it changed drastically. I'm not saying that my forecast is, you know, all that bad and it's going to change just as drastically, but there is a chance, okay? And this is just a reason for everyone to be prepared all the way up from South Florida up into the East Coast and the Northeast states there. So again, something to just kind of sit on and think about. Hurricane Irma here, the bottom line. We've got hurricane watches for Leeward Islands right now. Model guidance still expected to flip-flop through tomorrow, so by Tuesday we're really going to have a better handle. I will say that I would likely trust the track a little bit more by Tuesday and even Wednesday. Wind and rain still extends well away from the center. At this point, it is 140 miles extending from the center. But as that storm increases in intensity, it's likely to grow in size, so that would result in those winds possibly extending a bit farther out from the center than what we're seeing right now. So my point is, and someone just asked me, how close do I think it will be to the coast of Florida? That's very tricky as well. It could be anywhere from 60 to 100 miles off the coast of South Florida as far as what the data is showing right now. And that's just me being what my gut's telling me with that front that's going to be rolling through. As far as the first coast goes, I think it would be a little farther offshore. So 100 miles plus, 150 possibly is what the GFS and the Euro were kind of showing today. So that would be good news, but we're still possibly going to see some tropical storm force effects late this week and into next weekend. Now, the timing can change as well, so I think Friday to Monday is a good time frame for folks to really just kind of watch their calendars and just make sure you guys stay tuned to the forecast. Hi everyone, I am just reading all of your comments. There's so many people commenting tonight. Everyone's saying go away, Irma, you're not invited, and guys, I couldn't agree more. And let's see, I'm waiting to see if we're gonna get the latest data. Still nothing. So I'm patiently waiting for the chat service to pop up the information from Irma, and actually our graphics are really good. When they get the data, this will all update, and the graphics will go crazy because I've got to kind of fix the things to be in the right place. So once that happens, then we know we've got the latest update. That again, 11 o'clock, new track, new intensity forecast, and we will see how Irma is doing, what the Hurricane Center is thinking. I've looked at all of the data that the National Hurricane Center has looked at. I've been looking at it non-stop this weekend. Cannot keep my eyes off of it. We will wait for the new European model to come out, of course, overnight, and then again tomorrow afternoon. GFS comes in a bit more often. Puerto Rico, people want to know. South Carolina. Well, we're of course going to have to watch the Carolinas because we can't rule out a U.S. landfall, fortunately, at this point. Still, the model's just not taking it out to sea, as many of them, at least, as that we'd want to see. People are asking about Puerto Rico, and I do think they're going to have a very, very close brush with a Category 4 hurricane, possibly. So, some major impacts to the Caribbean islands that we'll have to watch. And there is another storm behind Irma at this point. I don't think we need to focus on that all that much because Irma is the threat that would be most imminent to the states here. And everyone saying they don't want Irma. I don't want Irma either. Yes, Wenda says they have to stay positive. Anyone that is concerned, I'd say don't turn that nervous and concerned energy just into, some positivity here and get ready for the storm. We always say, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but we always say prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right? We said that all the time during Hurricane Matthew. Carol asked about the eye, how far it would be off the East Coast. Again, it's so iffy, but my best guess would be at least 100 miles if we do have that front come down. So that is the saving grace here, would be that front. And similar story with Matthew, actually. That's why we did not see a direct landfall, because the front was able to kind of protect or shield the first coast. So everybody else, thank you for joining. I am a little tired, I'm not gonna lie, because I've been in all weekend here and I've been really trying to pay attention and hone into this forecast because, hey, I'm going to say that, yes, meteorologists, this is fascinating to me, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to see a Category 4 storm come anywhere near not only all of your homes, but my home as well. Remember that we live here too, all of us at First Coast News, and we're not hoping for the worst by any means. I'm actually hoping that this thing stays far, far away. It's still fun to track them and watch them when they're out at sea as well. So, of course, just doing this because we want everyone to be prepared. We don't want this to be a surprise whatsoever. Trust me, the weather team has been in touch every single day. We've been having some little conference calls to just make sure everyone's on the same page. Mike Prangley will be in tomorrow morning at Good Morning Jacksonville, and then Tim Deegan back for the evening shows. I'm going to take Labor Day off and try to unplug from this maybe for a couple hours. But anyways, folks, I am just going to get ready for this 11 o'clock update because I'll probably have to hustle and then get on for the 11 o'clock news. So again, we're on ABC and NBC, First Coast News at 11 o'clock. Make sure to join us. I'm sure we'll be right off at the top of the show talking about the very latest from Hurricane Irma. Again, not expecting a whole lot of changes tonight. Still a major hurricane out there, still a ways away, about 5 to 7 days out. So we've just got to stay tuned and stay educated, everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to find me on Facebook or on Twitter at WeatherLauren.